Hey everybody, this is Geronimo from the Beyond Taboo podcast, and I'm here today with Xavi Bonini, a man that has been in the penile training field for quite a while. He's also a penile training coach, and today we have to discuss his experience, techniques, and a little bit about his insights about this practice. So, how are you doing? How's everything going?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I've been doing this for 23 years up to this date, so
Wow.
it's quite a while.
Yeah, it's quite a while. It's a lot of time.
Yeah.
So
And
you live in Italy, right?
yeah, in north of Italy, in near a city called Modena, near Bologna.
Oh, all right. Have you always lived there, or have you changed from city to city?
No, I I'm born. I've been
And
born
and
here,
raised,
and
born and raised
yeah,
here.
and stayed.
Nice. Um, well, that makes me wonder, how did everything started? I mean, 23 years ago, how did you hear about this possibility of training the penis? What sort of pushed you into considering that possibility? You know?
Okay, yes, it back in the day, the world was a bit different, especially the internet. Okay, so we hadn't too much opportunities to uh, find other guys doing this so easily. I personally have um, had I did acknowledge the possibility to do such a thing by a program, a pre-selled program with classical routine.
Oh, okay. It
And
was like a course, maybe like a course or a specific routine you
yeah,
purchased.
yeah, sort of a course. I was really skeptical at the beginning of it,
Like
since
most of us.
I thought, yeah, I thought that was another kind of scam, like the pill that make your dick grow in five
In one week
centimeter in one
or
night.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And but it I started to for out of curiosity, since that was a thing that um, I was craving for. And after having tried that for 2 months, I realized that it really worked. So the good thing with this program is that it made it possible to speak with other people
Hmm.
doing which were doing the same program. So we
Like
exchanged.
share the progress, tips,
Yeah,
like that sort of stuff.
exactly. And this way, I was redirected to a famous forum, which was the Thunder's Place.
Oh, Founders Place. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
okay,
important forum.
yeah, and so I could read a lot of materials, meet lots of other people doing that, and I tried to do a similar kind of forum for Italian guys, since at that time in
Oh.
now on Thunder's Place there are Italian forum, Spanish
Yeah,
forum,
I've seen
and
that.
so on.
Yes.
But back at the time, that was just the English page. So I tried to do this sort of similar thing on a platform in Italy, which was called the Forum Community,
The forum
and
community. All right.
we translated articles from that, and we had something like 2,500 members on that, and
Wow.
I was the administrator of the that forum.
Wow. Wow, that's big. And
Yeah,
is
and
that forum still active or
no
already?
more. After a while, it was simply too much work for me to
Well,
go,
I can
since
imagine.
I was trying to answer to all the people was basically asking anything. And after a while, it was a little tiring for me.
Yeah,
And
I
I was starting to work properly at the time, and so I tried to find other guys who could administrate the forum after me. But
Mm.
I knew after that after 1 or 2 years, the forum unfortunately didn't exist no more.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So probably everybody moved to back to Thunder's place, probably, right?
Yeah. I met some of those guys on Thunder's Place after
Oh,
years. They still remember me, so that was um, really, I was proud of that.
that's
Okay.
great, man.
And yes, I continued to stay on Thunder's Place here and there, and see how those other guys were doing. And then 4 years ago, I started to do personal coach for those who were asking me uh,
Mm.
through Thunder's Place.
So tell me a little bit. I'd love to ask you about the coaching you offer. Um, but I'd love first to ask you about, well, what pushed you into these exercises? I mean, everyone has their own reasons. I mean, sometimes it's just to improve confidence, sometimes to overcome some past sexual trauma, like when being with someone and the typical. I know it's a touchy question, probably, but since everyone has their own reasons, yeah, I mean, I'm curious, what made you sort of wonder about that?
Uh, I think that honestly, what I can say is that I was always fascinated by this possibility. So I started from a really average size. I don't know, where are you from? What kind of measurement do you use? We use centimeters here.
Oh, in Argentina too, but well, uh, every time we talked about dimensions in JELQ2GROW, we use the inches system because most of our
Okay.
customers are from the USA, but I think everyone can get it. So
Okay, so I'm sorry, because since I'm not a real I should translate the
no worries,
centimeters in
no worries.
English.
That's all
So
right.
in centimeters, I started. I was 17 centimeters in length and 14 centimeters in girth. And but this possibility to grow more was something that fascinated me since I was a teen. So I just wanted to understood if this was an actual possibility.
All
And
right.
when I discovered it was actually possible, I simply didn't stop. But I know, having been a coach and having talked to so much other guys, it's true. What you say is true. Every person has his own causes that lead them to approach such a thing. And lots of guys I've met started because they have some kind of trauma.
Wow.
That I didn't have any. I just wanted to grow.
Okay. Well, that's great. I mean, wanting to grow doesn't mean you necessarily have any kind of trauma, but
So also I must also say I'm gay. So in for gays, maybe that's
yeah,
fascinating. No.
yeah, I feel like that sometimes happens, right? I mean, well, I'd love to hear your opinion about it, but well, men are already frightened about the possibility of being with a woman. I mean, of
Okay.
encountering a size queen, like, oh, I don't know if if this girl will like my body, maybe I'm too small. And well, since the gay community, has some great, let's say, appreciation of the penis, I figure sometimes how is it like? Do you think there's more of these sort of situations where men feel like um, awkward or insecure about their size when it comes to being with other men?
Um, Okay, the dynamics are a bit different since, as you said, for straight men, that's usually a matter of not be sure enough, or maybe a girl that mentioned the fact that his previous guys were big, so someone grows anxious.
Exactly.
Uh, okay, in the gay community. Maybe the size of your cock is important, no matter what was the previous experiences. So since this is a thing between you and other guys, so
Mm.
it's sort of like the bigger the better. Okay,
Yeah, I can
it's
imagine.
a very appreciated features.
For sure. I guess sometimes more than the whole body, I guess sometimes, right? I mean,
It's a particular point of attention. Yeah,
uh,
not the only one, but sure it is one that other guys search for.
so we could say that as there are size queens, there are size kings in the gay
There are
community.
a lot of side kink. Yeah,
All right, all
yeah.
right. So, how was your? Could you tell us a little bit more about your whole journey with these exercises? For example, you mentioned you started seeing results after 2 months. Maybe you could tell us a bit about how you started feeling. I mean, in terms of confidence, and how it sort of impacted your life. I mean, do you feel like you sort of well, you already had a good relationship with your body, you mentioned, but how did that change when you started training?
Um, Maybe I didn't I didn't make it very clear, but I didn't have a particular good relationship with my body when I started
Oh,
with.
oh, you didn't have a good relationship with your
No,
body.
I was as I think a lot of guys. I also was insecure about myself, so
Mm,
I just wanted to improve wherever I can, be it cock or muscles or every aspect of you as a
okay.
person, also
Mm,
mentally. Okay, so
sure.
just it was just the will to improve. And as for my journey, I started with really simple things. So, a basic manual program with stretches and jerks, uh, some Kegels. Okay, warm up and cool down. Nothing more than that. Um, Started like that and did uh, something like 20 years of manual, and then. After 15 years, I switched to mechanical devices, but I did 15 years just with manual.
Wow.
Always trying to optimize what I was doing, learning for new ways of doing the same exercises
Mm,
mm, in a better way, and
mm.
so on. As for how it impacted my life, that was a life-changing thing. So as soon as I started to understand that these things was actually working, and something like a new word exploded in my mind. So I thought,
Wow.
okay, so there is this possibility. Okay. And so the next thought was, okay, so where can I go? How much can I achieve? Okay, in terms of size. And so I actually gained something like 5 centimeters, which is up to 2 inches.
Wow.
Okay,
That's a lot
just
of.
with manual, just with manual techniques, and another inch with the mechanical devices.
Wow.
And so I was a little over the average gains. Okay, and but I couldn't stop there, so I continued continued until it was no functional anymore. But I still wanted to grow.
It you sort of got a little bit ambitious about the whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. I felt the taste of victory.
Well, I can imagine. I mean, mate, those gains are quite remarkable. I mean, it's definitely way above the average in terms of success, you know, in with these routines.
Yeah, obviously, I was joking. The success in life is much more complex than that. But yeah, it was a very welcomed result.
Yeah, I can imagine. Um, I was wondering, I mean, you went through 15 years of manual exercising. I'd love to hear about your personal preferences, maybe your favorite exercises, you know. I mean, we always say here that every journey is different. I mean, though there are routines that may work for most men, there's always cases when something doesn't work for everybody. So, leaving that aside, I'm curious about what did you like the most throughout your journey in terms of techniques? Hmm?
Okay. The premise is there are some exercises which are fun to do, and some other which are not fun at all. They are like a torture, but they work extremely well. So, if your question is about what kind of techniques was the most efficacious for me, they were tortures. So, I found very effective a technique which is called a bundled stretch. I don't know if you know that.
The bundle stretch. Mm.
Yeah, it's basically a stretch in which you um, squeeze.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I know that one. Yeah.
this okay hurts a lot, but it's also really effective as a stretch.
Okay.
Okay,
But
it
you always need to be very cautious, I guess. I mean, with the ligament.
absolutely, absolutely yes. I don't recommend anyone to do that as a beginner routine. Uh, I always suggest to start with simple, soft, mild exercises and then progressively go on from that, trying to understand your body and how it reacts to the single stimulations. But when it comes to the most efficacious thing, this is the kind of stretch I found more effective bundle stretch in the downside direction,
Okay.
and obviously lots of JELQ
Hmm.
when it comes to
Girth.
simple technique.
So the jolking technique was your favorite for girth?
Not just for girth, but for volume in general, since JELQ doesn't work only for girth.
Hmm.
It works also for length. It depends on how it is performed, obviously, but
Hmm.
it works exceptionally well also for length. To me, JELQ is the the main exercise, since it makes everything working out.
Yeah,
So both
and
good
and
length and
proportionally also in
yeah.
proportions. Yeah, I mean, we are named Jel to grow for something after all. I mean, we love jelking, but it's interesting because it's one of the most well, it has some very bad reputation. I mean, online in the medical community, though there's been more recognition even within the medical circles and communities, mostly the urological one. You still get to see these sort of objections or cautiousness or skepticism or even saying it's like a complete madness to try it out, you know? So, I mean, I have my own theories, but I'd love to hear what do you think about it? You know, why is joking so, why it has such bad reputation?
Okay, I can try to give you an explanation in my opinion, obviously.
Sure, go ahead.
Let's start with a funny anecdotal scenario I had to witness. Uh, at a certain point of my life, I thought that there wasn't enough scientific data about penis enhancement in general. So I tried to contact various andrologists and urologists in
Wow,
Italy, in Milan in
that's
particular.
interesting.
Yeah, since I wanted to create a net of professionals which could give you a base. Oh, okay, sorry, little blackout. Uh, I wanted to give a scientific base and create a net of professional which could give assistance to the guys I was following too.
Hmm.
So
And how did it go?
really bad, really bad.
I
Since
can imagine.
the really weird thing about this is that when I contacted the andrologist and showed them my results, they were dumbfounded. They couldn't understand what was happening. I don't know. So they complimented me and asked me a lot of things. But then one of them in particular, which was a doctor practicing in Milan, um, uh,
He was curious about the routine.
yeah, they were, and I took them all the programs I did and gave to the students I was following at the time. He was really curious. Then he wrote a book, and in that book, he said that penis enhancement exercises didn't work.
Wow,
Man, I didn't know
that's very
what.
strange.
Yeah. Then I after that I tried to understand what was leading him to behave like that, and he told me really explicitly that the fact is in the scientific community you can't write a book based on anecdotal experiences and bro science. Okay, so
Hmm.
based on the experience of a singular person.
But it's
They
strange though, right? I mean, if you saw the
yeah.
result, why would you why would you decide to write a book just to say negative things
No,
about
no.
practice?
The book was about male sexual aspects of in general. So it
Oh, so
was
it
about
was like
that.
a particular mention of this thing
Yeah,
rather.
that
Okay.
was a part of that book which talked about the ways to increase your penis size. And so this was what he wrote. He said me that to be scientifically accepted, you will need a study of at least 3,000 people participating in an experiment, and do that with the scientific method. So half of these men should do ineffective exercises, while the other half should do ineffective exercises. Okay.
Hmm.
So I don't know the term in English. In Italy is metodo del doppio cieco, two blinds.
Yeah. Blind studies. Yeah,
Okay.
double blind study. Yeah.
Double blind studies, exactly. So without that, if he had wrote a book without this method, other doctors could have say anything against him.
Hmm.
Okay, and this is why he told me that. But I can add to this thing another consideration, which is mine, that is um, there are actual studies showing you the efficacies of some methods, and these
Yeah,
are,
like traction.
yeah, penis extenders for once, and surgery procedures in general. So these are the things that have some studies behind them,
Hmm.
but they are also the things that leads doctors to earn money.
Yeah,
So
that I always thought the same, that's I also have the same theory, I mean, it's
so
much more profitable to push a
yeah,
guy into a $10,000 surgery
exactly.
right then.
Doing something with your own hands without any kind of profit from the medical community wasn't worth for them to understand, and this
Well,
is really sad for me.
that's why people tend to use more pills rather than meditating. I mean,
Yeah, but all these things lead the people to simply don't understand what they are doing, what
hmm,
is efficacious and what
yeah,
not.
that's true.
Okay, they can just believe the person and what he is saying without good quality information.
For
So
sure, for
for
sure.
me, this is madness.
Yeah. I share your opinion. It's quite strange. Uh, but I find pretty interesting and also committed. I mean, the fact that you reach out to all these different doctors. Uh, Luckily, there's more advances today with studies, and we have more material to show to men that are looking into this possibility from a place of skepticism. But yeah, I mean, we still need to go through more probably challenges or more time for society to fully accept this practice. But I think it's slowly going there. I mean,
What I need to say is that um, uh, these practices do have risks if they aren't done properly.
for sure.
So
I mean, that's
I
why also doctors have sometimes bad opinions
yeah,
about it.
yeah. This is a thing that I really care about. If you don't know how to perform a technique in the right way, you can do damages.
Hmm.
So I think that apart from the earnings from the doctor, these doctors probably have witnessed people which have come to them with with problems coming from a bad use of these techniques.
Hmm.
They they probably know more about these cases than the successful experiences. So
Hmm.
this is also
Exactly.
a factor. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I share that opinion too. Yeah. It's a pity though, but we'll get there eventually. Mirko, I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about your journey as a coach. I mean, what sort of uh, goals have you helped men achieve? I mean, like the anecdotal side of things, you know? I mean, coaching can definitely be a great aid for men starting this practice since there's so much information, sometimes even contradictory. So, hey, how
Yeah.
was the coaching chapter of your life?
So as I said, I started to give instruction to other guys as an administrator of this forum. I switched to personal coaching services because I felt that I could follow properly just a limited amount of people in the right way. Because every person, after a while, needs a personalized approach. The things that worked for me aren't the same that probably work for another guy, or better. There are some exercises that generally work, but when it comes to up to a certain point, when you reach a particular plateau, you have to really know your body, know how your body reacts, and
Mhm,
you have to experiment with the day on, day off, intensity, volume, and so on
mm.
until you find something that work for you, which is different from the things that work for another guy.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
so my approach as a coach is trying to first understand what are the needs of the person. For example, a student has a lot of time and can dedicate a lot of time to penis workout, while a more mature person maybe have some hours in the week and they can do much more than some hours. Um, Maybe one guy has no particular problem and is an easy gainer, another one is an hard gainer or have some condition that prevents him to have to achieve some results with the usual exercises and
Mm,
so on. So my method, I don't really have a method, but I start with a diagnosis and I ask a lot of questions to the guys who are interested in doing that in order to be able to understand at what point they are, what are
mm,
their goals, and so on. And then my main goal when I work with a person is to understand what can be achieved and what works for him. Trying to avoid injuries. This is my first, my main my main purpose, and trying to quicken the results since I spent 15 years obtaining 2 inches, 5 centimeters, without someone who told me what to do.
mm.
Okay,
Yeah, it makes sense.
I didn't have it. Yeah, the same thing that I obtained probably could be obtained in less time if I didn't lost so much time experimenting what was working and what was not. So I wanted to have a coach. This is why I'm doing that for others.
Oh, all right, all right. Yeah, so you sort of came up with the one thing you needed on your own journey to serve other guys with their own journey. So I think that's great, mate. I think that's
Yeah,
great.
that was something I would have greatly benefited,
Yeah, for sure.
but
It
there was
saves you.
something like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it saves you a lot of time, money, efforts, frustration. Yeah, coaching
Yeah,
definitely is great for people that, I mean, are sure about what they want out of this practice, you know? And in that
yeah.
sense, I'd love to ask you about, well, lots of guys find it difficult to stick with their routines, you know? I mean, some start but drop just 2 weeks afterwards after it. Some stick with it a lot of time. Uh, so how what have you seen with your clients when it comes to, well, sort of achieving the discipline it needs, this practice needs to get results, and also how was this process for you? I mean, you, the first stage of your training was 15 years of manual training. How was the relationship with your training? Did you stop sometimes? Did you take breaks, or you trained every day for 15 years? I mean, I'd love to hear about it.
Okay. All here as well, I must do the premise that being obsessive is always a great help in order to achieve good results.
Hmm,
Penis enhancement is really similar to gym training
hmm,
in this aspect. So, um, if you just start and do let's say 2 weeks of exercise in the gym, you can't expect to have results or to participate at Mr. Olympia. Okay. So this is the same for penis enhancement. You need to be consistent and to spend a lot of time and energy in order to see some results. This doesn't mean that they necessarily have to be that hard. As I mentioned, I was skeptical when I started. So if I wouldn't see results after, let's say, 2 or 3 months, I would probably dismiss this thing as a scam. Okay,
hmm,
so um, it, it takes time, but there are things that can show you that these things are working.
hmm,
Okay, but in order to for them to work, you must understand really well what you are doing, what's the reason some exercises works and how they work. You have to develop a good technique with the exercises, and you have to have patience.
hmm.
These
Definitely.
are the these are the premises to for me.
Yeah, anxiety can be the worst enemy, you know? I mean,
Yeah, and not only since it can lead you to stop before having seen results, but the
yeah,
same anxiety can lead you to overdo with the exercise and cause you injuries.
yeah,
So this is not the good approach. You need to take your time and be the most patient that you can.
yeah, for
Okay.
sure. So, I mean, in general, how has this situation been with your clients, with your students?
Not all the people have this approach. So what I have seen is in particular, I don't know why, but American students have really really no patience at all. They want to
Really?
obtain that. They want to have 2 inches in 1 week. So it doesn't work like that. Simply doesn't work like that. Sure, there are tricks that can lead you to have enormous results, but these are not safe. Okay, these
Hmm,
are risky.
hmm,
And what I observed is that out of I don't know 10 people who contacted me, maybe 7 of them just do 1 month and doesn't do the exercises properly, or doesn't give me the feedback I need to understand if they are doing well.
Hmm.
And they obviously don't obtain results, and after less than 1 month they
They
don't
stopped.
continue.
And why do
Yeah,
you
they
think
stop.
why do you think that happens? I mean, do you think that's just the impatience, the anxiety, or I mean,
I I think that in particular these people thinks that there are some magic tricks to obtain amazing results. Okay. I always premise that my results are obtained with lots of time and work, but they lack of the patience needed.
hmm,
Those that had the patience, and you can really understand as a coach, if your student is listening to you, is simple, because they ask questions, they give you feedback. So by these things you can understand they are really trying to understand, and they are working the
hmm,
way it is supposed to be. Okay. If
hmm,
the premises are these, usually they continue, and after 1 or 2 months, usually they see results, and they understand there is that click that I also had, that make them understand that it's actually working,
hmm,
and so they go on for months.
hmm.
Okay, but
Well,
they need to.
sorry.
No, they need to see results,
Hmm.
but in order to see results they have to stick to their routine.
And make it
Okay.
part of their lifestyle also, in a
Yeah,
sense, like
yeah.
make it part of
I,
your habits.
when I started, I was living with my parents at the time. So I waited for them to go asleep. And at midnight or 1 a.m., I started to do my routine. Okay. I had to be consistent when I did that. But the guys I see now say that when they before they start, they say, "Oh, I have all the time in the world. I can do whatever it takes." But in the end, they don't take half an hour, 40 minutes along
To do
the
the
day
thing.
to do the thing. Yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
and they need to do that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's the
I
thing with.
mean, you don't go to the gym once in a week, maybe do half an hour, and then you see results. It doesn't work like that.
Hmm. No, definitely not. So, Mirko, maybe last question um, for this first chat with you. I'd love to have you another time and dive into other um, topics about PE or techniques or etc. But maybe to close today's chat, I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about some success stories of your clients. And I'm not just talking about size, but
Mhm.
success in the broad term, as a broad term, if it's for example, I don't know, being able to have sex with confidence again. Like, what are the stories you get to hear from your clients, from those three of 10 clients that actually do the thing?
I luckily had more than 3 clients who
No,
succeed.
no, no. I mean, in terms of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
statistical.
Of course, of course. I understood. Yeah. Okay, so I think that the best feedback that my students have sent to me is they are happy with their life.
Mm.
So um, I took the screenshot of some of their statements, and I had two guys which were afraid of having a sexual relationship, and then found the love of
The
their life.
confidence.
Yeah,
Wow.
this was the and one guy that married, that actually
No
got
way.
married after that. So these are the things that make my day. Okay.
I hope you were invited to the wedding.
No, because that guy was in Germany, so
Oh,
it was important for me to go there as soon as possible. But and this guy was 57-year-old at the time.
oh,
So
wow.
yeah, and that was me for me. This was a problematic when I accepted to coach for him. I had a lot of doubts, since I thought, okay, he's a middle-aged guy. He already did exercises in the past. He also did two procedures of fat transplant in
Oh,
his
wow.
cock. Okay, so he doesn't benefit from the newbie gains. Okay, but he was a German guy. He was an old German guy, so he had the patience and the obsession, and he achieved the amazing result. Maybe he was the one that achieved the most results from
Wow.
the guys
You trained.
uh, yeah, I trained. Yeah, he gained something like 3 centimeters in less than a year.
Wow.
We think it was outstanding. Okay, usually for those who are not used to the average gain, the average gain is 2 or 3 centimeters in general. Okay, and we can talk about years. Okay, to reach that.
Yeah, for sure.
And he obtained that in less than a year. So
Yeah, it's quite
I
impressive.
couldn't be more happy.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, it's quite impressive. I'm sure. Well, he how grateful he may have been with you. I mean, he find the love of his life after all.
Yeah, yeah. And I must also say that after his marriage, he didn't have to continue his PE with me, since he was happy. He was simply happy. I gave him
I mean, maintenance routine.
sorry, say a maintenance routine, and I stick with that. And we ride sometime each other, but he just needed the psychological boost.
Well, that's the
Okay.
best outcome you can expect as a coach, I guess.
Yeah, for me that was the best thing I could think of. Um, but there are a lot of guys I'm really proud of, and because they understood what was the philosophy under what they are doing,
Hmm.
and maybe some obtained 1 or 2 centimeters. There is a guy which was also a moderator of my old forum,
Oh,
which obtained 6 centimeters.
oh, wow,
Okay,
that's a lot.
and yeah, and he still writes me for every time that he obtains a good comment from a girl. Okay,
That's
I'm
funny.
really happy with these guys, because okay, it's not just for me. I think that they are happy, so
Yeah, for
I
sure.
really couldn't ask for more.
That's the goal.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the goal. So,
But
Mirko,
the same thing
sorry.
goes for the guys who obtain just 1 centimeters or 1 centimeters and a half. and they gain the confidence they need.
Yeah, I mean that sometimes that's
Um,
all it takes, just a bit
yeah,
to see things from a different perspective.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree with you. Mirko, you mentioned the philosophy implied with PE. So, as a closure and to wrap it up, I love you to define or describe in a short sentence what's the philosophy of PE. I mean, what do you think everyone needs to consider to better understand P? I mean, I guess you've already said some things that could define this philosophy, but if you were to define it,
Understand how your body reacts, understand what you want, okay?
yeah,
Define
that's a very important one.
define a short and a long-term goal of what you want to achieve, and uh, be consistent in what you do,
Hmm, hmm,
and don't overdo that.
for sure. Yeah, those are great rules.
Always ask to guys with more experience what they have done, what are the problems they have faced, and how they succeeded.
Hmm,
Okay, there are a lot of people with experience out there. Okay, and they can save your life, and they can prevent you to hurt yourself.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, those are some great principles, Mirko, you just shared. I mean, and not just that, but all the experience you have shared with us today. I appreciate you. Thanks for being with us today. And just for you guys to know, Mirko will be part from now on of the JELQ2GROW team as a coach. So any Italian client man looking to start some training or from any part of the world, uh, you're more than welcome to reach out. And if you're interested in going through some coaching with Mirko, you just let us know. So, yeah, I mean, this was fun, Mirko. Thanks a lot for being with us here today. And I hope we can chat again soon.
Thanks to you and for this opportunity. I'm happy to be part of something more.